Anthony Castrovince, last time I saw you was in the tunnel at Progressive Field. Your team had a heck of a run, and your latest on MLB.com is 5 things we learned in October. Good morning, by the way. Bryce Harper has been fun to watch. That is an understatement. I remember him, Anthony, in the home run derby with the headband, a showman. We knew he was this from a young age, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to see him live up to that. We're on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16. A lot can go wrong. We know the SI cover jinx,
Sure.
particularly at that age. But he's gone on to a really great career, in some ways an underrated career. I think there was a lot of backlash against Bryce Harper early in his career because of all the attention. But, he's on pretty solid Cooperstown footing. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer today. He's got a long way to go in terms of longevity, but he's on very solid footing. He's got 42.5 wins above replacement through his age 29 season. You look in history in the live ball era, position players, 62 had that high of a WAR at that age, and 49 are in the Hall. So, and a few of those guys are still active, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, etc. So you have a moment like he had on Sunday in a clincher, one of the hugest home runs in Phillies franchise history. That will help you as well. This guy's had a great postseason career. He's played in 7 postseason series. He's homered in 6 of them. He's got a 975 OPS in October, 18th best all time. So, again, he's not a Hall of Famer. He might be headed that way, and it's great to see.
It is great to see. It's nice to project out. How about in the dugout after that last home run? He mouthed the words, "I just did that." So cool to run it back. Also on your list, starting pitching is not dead. Just look at the Astros, Anthony. In the CS, it was Verlander, and it was Framber and Christian Javier. They're going deep in games. And just speaking from viewers, it's a better watch for fans.
It is. I think when you can go into a postseason start and really hype up the starting pitching matchup, and that's what baseball has always been built on, and it's changed a lot in recent years. We know that. It's become a more bullpen-oriented game, and we saw that most dramatically last year, coming off the shortened pandemic season. This year, the starting pitching has come roaring back. We've already had more starting pitcher innings this postseason than last, and that's in 6 fewer games this year than last. And it's not just about the pandemic. I mean, guys are averaging about 5.01 innings per start. That's more than in both 2017 and 2018. You see there how these pennant winners, last year, both of them got more relief innings than starter innings. This year, that's flipped around. We've had 11 instances in which a starter has gone at least 7 innings. That's as many as in 2016. So, again, the starting pitcher, not quite dead yet when it comes to October. That's great to see.
It is trending in the right direction, is it not? I was worried that pitchers wouldn't be able to hear Pitchcom. I spoke with Garrett Cole about that just because the Yankee Stadium crowd is so intense. Baseball fans were hesitant about Pitchcom, I would imagine. Did it work the way you hoped it would?
I think it worked the way Major League Baseball hoped it would. It just had a more efficient game. We know, of course, the pitch clock comes next season, but this was a step before that, of course, because we've seen a lot of paranoia in baseball, and particularly in the postseason when it comes to stealing signs. Once a runner gets on base, especially second base, the game has just ground to a halt. You didn't see that as much this year. In the regular season, the game times were cut by about 7 minutes. In the postseason, it's been cut by 16 minutes from last year. So Pitchcom making a big impact. And again, I think you pair this with pitch clock next year, and you've got a different sport in terms of just the pace of action and the lack of dead time.
Wow. And if you're Austin Hedges, you personalize it. Fastball in. Let's go. That was such a cool story that Dero told. On your list of things you learned, the Yankees have work to do. Dero said it yesterday. If DJ LeMahieu and Andrew Benintendi were healthy, perhaps it'd just be a different look in their lineup. Where do they go from here, Anthony?
Yeah, well, if my aunt had, we won't go there. But yeah, the Yankees, I want to be careful because this is obviously a well-run organization. You don't have 30 winning seasons in a row by accident. They have a lot good going for them. They were a very good ball club this year. But this extends back to the second half where they played 500 ball in the second half. Their offense was very, very Aaron Judge centric. I think that's pretty clear. It was even more glaring in the postseason where he struggled and they struggled. And of course, he's now a free agent. I think the way they've lost to the Astros in 3 ALCS rounds in recent years, that really sticks out like a sore thumb, where the Astros have all these draft and developmental great stories within their organization. The Yankees don't have as many. They don't have as many international stories that have gone well for them. And then on the free agent front, they've pinched pennies in certain instances when you thought they might go big. Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, last winter's shortstop class. They abstained from last winter's shortstop class and end up with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and he's benched in the division series. So there's some kind of disconnect between the Yankees and what they need to do to get to the World Series. And I don't like to draw big conclusions from short series, but I think it's fair to say that, some things need to be changed there.
I was talking to the scout who scouted Jordan, and he said there's so much more international talent to come. It's so interesting to see what they will be. Talking about Houston, we talk about this a lot. There aren't many weaknesses. Can you find one?
Yeah. Not especially. And I think they are an amazing story in that, there's a certain segment on social media that if you say anything laudatory about the Astros, will come back with trash can memes and whatnot. But they are well beyond that. The game is well beyond that. We just talked about Pitchcom. And yet here they keep racking up American League pennants. You don't do that without superior scouting and development. They have the deepest pitching staff of anybody in baseball. There are great international signings that are a huge part of that. Framber Valdez, Luis Garcia, et cetera, et cetera. You just mentioned Yordan Alvarez. They were on him when he was coming out of Cuba, and the Dodgers got him. The Astros ran out of money in their international budget in that signing period. And then 6 weeks later, the Dodgers wanted Josh Fields, and the Astros knew everything there was to know about Yordan Alvarez and asked for him and got him, and here they are today. So they actually, Lauren, have the most homegrown wins above replacement of any roster of the playoff teams this year. So it's not just about throwing money at your problems. And it's so hard in this sport to sustain success when you talk about, drafting later and trading guys to augment your big league club. They've done all that and losing guys in free agency, by the way, some big stars. And yet here they are yet again.
4 World Series in the past 6 years. It's remarkable success. Anthony Castrovince with the very latest. That piece is on MLB.com. By the way, D-Row did a tail of the tape. Houston or Philly? I don't know if you saw it. Which side do you lean?
Man, that's a tough one for me. Philly probably has, it's got the greater history. It's got the history of our country and whatnot. And it's got the Rocky statue. And when you have statues of fictitious characters, you win a special place in my heart.